It's showtime.
Breaking news from the BSnBEER news desk.
Welcome in to another edition of the Beer Chaser. I'm your host, Dale. With me today, we got Tomas. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Losing. That's all that's going on. Losing.
That's right. Saints fall to the Falcons 24-15 in a game where every damn body got hurt on the Saints team. They're still getting hurt out there. We don't know who's going to be ready for next week. Probably have to sign me to go out there and play next week. Tomas. That's what we're going to have to do.
I would if I could, but between my knee and my back, brother, I'm done. Of course, I can say that, but maybe I block better than some of those offensive linemen. So I don't know.
Hey,
Surely I'm better than the fullback.
I can run some A.T. Perry routes now. I can definitely run some routes. A.T. Perry does.
I hear you. Well, 6'1", 235. I was big when I was younger. Now I'm small. So you know.
Yep. All right. Saints falls to Falcons 24-15. You know how we do, man. We're gonna go through some notes, talk about this game. So let's start off early on. See the Saints and the Falcons. They trade a few 3-and-outs. And then we get our first red zone opportunity and we fail. And so we ended up with a groupie field goal. And this drive here ended in some miscommunication. Back to what I touched on with A.T. Perry. He totally looked like he forgot the route and just decided, I'm not going to run any route at all.
At least run the wrong route. You know what I'm saying?
You got to run something fast.
And say, hey, I'm sorry. I thought it was that route instead of just standing there with your thumb up your, Unbelievable. But again, was he a 2 first-round draft choice? Did we give up 2 number ones to get him?
Maybe he was a high draft choice. So he should. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. It's A.T. Perry. I'm sorry. No. Yeah, I don't know what we gave up to get him. I have to go back and look.
I think it was like a 6th-round pick.
Yeah,
something like that. I'm just making fun of. We've had people who have not made the team.
Who
cost us 2 first rounds.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't be expecting a guy who wasn't in the top 3 rounds to, be an outstanding player.
Yeah.
So,
For sure. So that brings it to 3-0 Saints. And then the Saints defense, they stop Atlanta on 4th down to take over the ball in their own territory. I was a little nervous on this drive because Atlanta was moving the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
Defense did step up and got that stop. So good stuff. And just a little bit later, we saw Taysom Hill catch a jump ball. Contested catch. This is not something that he does very well, but in this case, hey, he got it done. So
wait a second. Is there something Taysom doesn't do well?
This was not like a great game for him, so he's got some flaws.
Wait now. He had a really solid game. The very end. We'll talk about it when you get to the end. Okay. I don't want people to be saying things that aren't true.
Okay.
But,
all right.
Okay. Go ahead.
So this was followed up by a pick 6 that Carr threw. Jesse Bates baited him in the throw. He got the thing turned for a touchdown. But the drive itself did look good before that pick 6. And now we're at 7-3 Falcons.
So if you're going to say anything bad about Taysom, I believe you have to step up and say something bad about Mr. Carr.
He got baited and that's it.
But wait, is he a rookie? Is he in his first year?
No.
Baited?
Yeah. I feel you.
Just saying. One of many throws that you went, what?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Remember, somebody said, hey, that ain't the sign we need to make. Well, I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, hey, maybe you're right about that, and we should have listened to you.
Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Oh, I remember.
There you go.
That's right. They remember what they do.
Yes, sir.
The Saints answer this next drive with a groupie field goal, and that makes it 7-6 Falcons. So in this game, just to, I guess, kind of play spoiler here, the Saints were 0-4 in the red zone here today, 0-5.
Right. I was calling all those plays according to somebody who just sent something in. Apparently, they blame me for play calling.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I was calling all those plays. Yeah.
That's right.
Except the
That's
plays
right.
I called, kill. And I was like, wait, don't kill it. Kill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Yeah, good point here. Can Carr read a defense? Because looks like you pointed out, he got baited in this throw, and at this point in his career, should he still be getting baited into throwing some interceptions like this?
I hate to say this, like I liked his brother when he came out. Listen to me now. When
Okay.
David Carr came out, man, I thought he was a talented dude. But when you get sacked 7,000 times, you pretty much have PTSD.
Yep.
And this brother Carr, he acts like he has PTSD because he goes back there, he's got to throw, and then he goes, I'm not sure if I can pull a trigger on this one. Man, throw the damn ball. If it's intercepted, it's intercepted.
Yep.
Because this next fellow right here, our defense is on the damn field so long they get burnt out. You sure? The defensive line can only charge up so many times.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
To me, I mean, truly, Dale, that's what it looks like to me. It's like he has PTSD back there. I mean, I can understand his brother who got killed in Texas and then in Carolina, but
right.
Has Derek Carr really been sacked that many times?
I mean, early in the season, but not now. Like the offensive line has been a lot better.
No. I mean, in his career.
Right.
I don't mean just with the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had a couple of outstanding. Well, I'll say outstanding. He had a couple of good years.
Mm-hmm.
With Oakland, where his offensive line was really good. So, but that's how it seems. Doesn't it seem that way to you? That he's just gun shy, right?
Yep.
Somebody's open. If he throws the ball a half a second early, he'll have the completion.
Mm-hmm.
What we used to say about Drew. Drew throws the receiver open, right?
Right. Yeah.
Just like at the end of the game, they were talking about, poor Carr, he's down to the number 4, 5, and 6 receiver. Well, hell, Drew was down to the 7, 8, 9th receiver, and he still make them look like they were all pros.
Yep.
I mean, of course, a Hall of Fame quarterback as compared to a second string quarterback, I understand.
Yeah. There were plenty of times where, Drew was playing without like dominant receivers, and we were as Saints fans complaining that we didn't have, really good receivers like everybody else had. So,
and yet we were winning, right?
Right.
And yet
exactly.
we were, he threw for 500 yards, and you're like, man, how's he throwing 500 yards to this guy? I don't even know. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, because these people that Carr's throwing to, okay, Bowden, who's here from Kentucky, he's a good player. You might not know who he is, but he's a good player. In today's game, he showed some skills in today's game.
Yeah. I remember Lynn Bowden Jr. at Kentucky, man. He was all you can do guy, doing everything.
Exactly. So, all right, we'll go on. We're gonna get to the rant sooner or later. Go ahead.
Yep, for sure. So the defense, they were having trouble with Ritter running the ball on this drive. He had almost 30 yards on 2 scrambles on the drive, kept that thing alive, and that led to Bijan Robinson running off the right side for a touchdown. Pretty easy, 14-6 Falcons.
it would appear to me that one of the problems with our defense, it's not just that they're on the field for a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think another thing is that, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but the first guy always misses, or the first guy doesn't wrap up, or the first guy doesn't hit him low enough to stop the forward motion.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like the first guy hits him or bounces off him, whatever, and he's good for another 5 yards, another 7 yards. If we stop him at the initial contact, man, the game is completely different. You know, but
yeah, you could probably have a sack if you actually stop him at initial contact too.
So I don't know. Is it that they're scared of getting penalized, or worse yet, fined? Man, did you see the list of fines that these young men have to put up with?
That's true. It just sucks playing defense in the NFL.
You know, if you're getting paid, $150,000 for the season, because you're not the star player, or even $200,000 for the season, and you're having to pay out fines of like $30,000 for a hit.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
You're gonna say, well, hell, I'm not gonna hit him anymore.
Yeah. It was a couple of different players I've seen on Thanksgiving got fined like $10K for tackling. Yeah.
This is football. This is football. Come on, get with it. I mean, how many times did you play football? At the corner lot, the playground, and you get tattooed. You're like, you get up and you go, man, good hit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's football. It's not, flag football.
Yep.
So I don't know, but I just feel that there's just not enough, and I'm going to get to this in a rant. There's not enough aggressiveness on our defensive players to wrap up and slam these dudes to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
I agree with that. We saw Shaheed coming in and off the field, dealing with injury, trying to play through an injury.
Yeah.
He ended up, after this last time, getting out, just staying off the field. So this was one of the injured players to add to that list. And early on, we saw Olave getting a ton of targets. By the second quarter, he had 7 catches. So, and at that point, he was literally like the only wide receiver that, you could really trust with the ball in the air. So that's why he was being force-fed some targets there. So,
and I know you would be happy because he's one of my fantasy wide receivers.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, I said, man, at this point, man, if he keeps playing the game like this, woohoo, that's going to make up for some of the other people aren't playing with 2 cents.
That's right.
But then out he goes. And at first, I didn't think they said it's a concussion. It didn't look like a concussion to me. It looked like he hit the shoulder first before he hit his head.
Oh.
I didn't really see his head snap back like that onto the ground.
Did you see it? That part I didn't see for sure. I knew he hit the ground pretty hard.
Yeah, but I thought it was like when he came, he outjumped that guy by a mile. I mean, that was a beautiful up to the high point of the ball. But the ball was just too high. But he still had his hands on it, which I commend him for. But when he came down, it looked like he came down really hard on that left shoulder. And so that's what I thought. I was like, well, it's the
so we got the Falcons fans jumping on.
Oh, is that what it is?
L.
I see.
And then after Saints, that's what we get here.
Well, that's all right, brother. You have your opportunity. That's fine, but they're always going to be the Falcons to me. So enjoy your moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't begrudge you. You played better than the Saints did. You deserve to win the game. Congrats to you.
Congrats to you. That's right.
That's all I got to say. I still remember, though, you might recall your star quarterback getting that stiff arm. Do you remember? I think it was around this time a few years ago that he got a stiff arm, right?
Yep, that's right.
So, just saying. But congrats to you.
Yep.
So and FTF.
Yep.
That's right. FTF.
I'm with you on that for sure.
There you go.
So we saw the offensive drive stall. Groupie hit another field goal. So now we got 14-9 Falcons. And on this drive in particular, there was a missed pass interference penalty on Ellis.
Yes.
And this is the basic defender not looking back for the ball, and that's automatic foul in the NFL. I see it a million times every week, but the Saints are out there doing it, then we don't see a foul. Like what's going on with that?
Well, I think it might have been you. Somebody wrote that, the refs aren't consistent.
Yeah.
And I replied, they certainly are. They're consistent in not calling stuff against the other team against the Saints.
Yeah.
They're consistent with it. No doubt about it.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah. But that was so obvious. I mean, Ellis, who I like, I'm really sad that the Saints lost him. But, he never once turned back for the ball. He spread his arms out. Come on, please.
Mm-hmm.
If you spread your arms out, you're not going for the ball. No, you're spreading your arms out. Sorry, that's PI, But
Yep.
Didn't get the call.
Exactly.
So we keep going.
So Ritter escapes the pocket again. After escaping, several sacks there, he turns into a positive game for Atlanta. And at this point, the defense is giving up lots of yards. It looks for sure like Atlanta's gonna score before the half. And unexpectedly, Honey Badger intercepts Ritter. He ends the half. Really good stop by the defense there.
Well, I mean, this is why Ritter got benched before in the last few games.
Yeah.
Because he had too many interceptions, according to the coach. But, again, these young kids, now I'm sticking up for Ritter. The young kids need to play.
Yeah.
If they don't play, they can't learn the game.
Mm-hmm.
We look at all the great quarterbacks. I don't know any great quarterback that didn't have any interceptions or didn't have a bad game here or there. So, I think that Ritter has skills and, certainly could be a starting quarterback. But if they don't give him a chance to play, but that was he was a little confused on that play, I think. Mm-hmm. And Matthew came across the front of the ball, and that was good.
Yep. I think the coaching staff and hell, maybe the front office too, they're feeling the pressure in Atlanta, and so that's why they made that switch at some point in time. But they're back to Ritter, and they're gonna have to ride that out, and we'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that brings us to halftime, and with halftime, that brings us to.
Oh my God! It's gonna blow!
It's a Tomas rant.
That's right. I don't want to hear these facts.
Daddy, she's gonna blow!
I have opinions.
I got a nuke coming in. It's gonna blow in less than a minute.
Facts don't mean anything to me.
It's gonna blow!
My opinion overranks the fact, okay?
It's gonna blow up! It's gonna blow up!
And she will. It is a mathematical certainty.
There we go. We've done the calculations. Tell us what's going on here.
All right. So here's my rant for our show today. I am tired of seeing a listless team. I don't see passion in this team. I watched several college games yesterday before I left when I got home, right? I watched the end of the LSU game. I watched some other games when I got home. And a lot of these college games, you see how they're fired up. Now, I know they're amateur college kids, but in today's game, they're making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It's not like the days of old. So here you have pros making serious money, and it's like they're barely going through the motions. And so I say that this team, our New Orleans Saints, is an exact reflection of our coaching. The coaching staff and our head coach, you watch them walk on the side of I don't see anybody going down a clipboard. I don't see anybody going over to somebody and chewing them up and spitting them out. I don't see any of that. All I see is, Dennis Allen walking out. Oh, well. Oh, okay, well. Oh, let's flip my mic up. Oh, okay, well. Man, that's not how you get a team to be inspired to play.
Okay.
Look, even our star players, DeMario. I have not seen DeMario play this soft in a long time. I know he's not injured. It's just even he who has this great spiritual connection, he's not playing with passion and I just don't see it. I don't see it. On offense, You know, again, Derek Carr is also a reflection of Dennis Allen, right? He might be a nice guy, but he's not he's a passive player rather than an active player, you know? So to me, man, I love Winston to death because I think he's a good man. He's inspiring. He's a team player. You know, it's just a shame that he can't decide properly when he's in the game. He just gets all messed up because he has the arm. He just doesn't have the tools to unless it's unbelievable conditions. But it's just my rant today is simply this team reflects the dispassionate staff that is coaching it.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, let me see. Michigan State fired the entire staff after yesterday's game. Okay? There are a number of teams across the NFL who have fired coordinators already. Now, if Mrs. Benson wants to stick with this crew to the end of the season, God bless her. But if that's the case, at the end of the season, it's time to say, bye-bye, Billy Ed. Time to say we need a change in this team. These players, we have good players. We have players that can play. But you have players that need to have a fire lit under their behind so that they play with passion. And I don't see it. So that is my position. I can't I'm not really angry with players as much as I'm angry with the general manager and the coaching staff because it's a reflection of what they are and who they are. And if Mickey doesn't understand that, then maybe it's time for a new GM as well.
Yeah, Mickey's a made man. He's never gonna leave until he's ready to go.
Well, of course, I realize that, and that's why I'm saying somebody has to step up and say, look, Dennis Allen might be a great, like I said to you all before, like Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips was a great defensive coordinator. Wasn't worth 10 cents as a head coach. So I feel the same way about Dennis Allen.
Well, I'm starting to kind of lean that he's not a good defensive coordinator either now, because
you can't be when there's 60 minutes in the game and 40 of those minutes your defense is on the field. I don't care who you are. You can be Vince Lombardi, buddy. You're not going to win a lot of games when your defense is on the field for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You have to have balance. For your defense to be good, your offense has to be on the field. Even if they don't score, they have to be on the field for 3 or 4 series. So the defense sit on the sideline, catch their breath, and go back in. But that's not the case. It's 1, 2, 3 out, and then we're in. They're running the ball for 5 minutes. They sit on the bench for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3 out, and they're back in. And you win a game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't care what kind of coach you are. You're not going to win a game that way.
I'm with you. The offense does set up the defense to fail for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, the defense is giving up over 200 yards rushing this game.
Yeah.
So you're not playing really good defense when you're out there either.
No.
So this goes hand in hand. Both of them aren't performing well, the offense or the defense.
Yeah. Well, and you're seeing some of the players who are good backups, and we have them starting, right? I'm not sold on Bond. I think he's a good backup. I don't think he's a good starter, and you've got him out there starting.
Hey, this is late in the season though. You gotta, injuries part of the game. You got to have a good enough roster to compete still.
Sure.
I mean, other teams out there are hurting too. So, but we've got to win games. Period.
Absolutely. But then that goes back to the staff not having a good. And they had an extra week, right? We had a bye week.
That's right.
They surely had enough time to really set up a good game plan. And did you see a good offensive game plan? What did you see different in this game plan from the one before the break?
Earlier, before the pick six, the offense was moving. They looked pretty good. But after that pick six, like the offense went down. I don't know what happened.
I'll tell you what happened. Olave was the only guy who was playing worth 10 cents on the receiving end.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was as if during the break they said, "Listen, Mr. Carr, bury the hatchet between you and Olave and just throw him the ball."
Right.
And he did, and it was successful. But at the same time, it was like, well, where are the other receivers?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
I mean, I can, and least used, of course, was Juwan Johnson, who I said to you guys, I was like, does he know that the tight end's supposed to catch the ball? I mean, I can't imagine, he short arms this one. And I'm like, nobody going to hit you. Why are you short arming that ball? Stick your hands out there, man.
Yeah.
So there were combinations, but I'm just saying to you, in my opinion, the offensive game plan wasn't anything to jump up and down about, and the guys calling the game. Well, Kamara's, he's being shortchanged by not going up the middle, up there. Hey, Alvin's not made to go up the middle. Alvin's made to go on the outside of the tackle or sweep around, but you got to give him the ball in the right position, the right place, which they did a few times.
Yeah.
Alvin's got such great balance and skills that he makes something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, why don't we have Prentice on this team?
I don't
today. Why
I don't see his purpose. Yeah.
I mean, it's a wasted spot.
Yes, it is.
Get him out. Bye-bye Billy Ed.
I am with you.
And I will tell you, all these injuries. So I'm going to give everybody a heads up. There'll be 2 players will be called up from the practice squad this week.
Okay.
Kirkland, one of the wide receivers, is going to be called up because he's
he played. He played today.
Did he play today?
Yeah, he played today.
Oh, I didn't see him. I'm sorry. Oh, well, then the other one is the one that everybody loves. At least I think he's still on the practice squad. Callaway is on the practice squad.
Yeah. He was walking somebody to the locker room today after an injury. So yeah, he's definitely out there. That's the only 2 receivers they had left. I thought they were on the practice squad. They weren't active. So, now I don't really see him signing anybody, but yeah, Kirkland, Jontre Kirkland is also on the practice squad. So you have 2 wide receivers on the practice squad.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But you said he was active today?
No, Callaway was not active. It was Kirkland.
I thought Kirkwood was
Kirkwood.
active.
I'm sorry, Kirkwood.
Not Kirkland.
Yeah, Kirkland is also on the practice squad.
Right. That's why I said I think those 2 kids. Callaway, who's been there, done that, knows the playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Kirkland, who I kind of liked during the
preseason
OTAs and the preseason, so he might have something to contribute. But I don't think we're going to sign anybody. I think we'll call those two players up.
Okay.
So, but I'm just giving a heads up because I heard people say, "Oh, we're going to have to sign somebody." I was like, I don't think we're going to sign anybody. I think we'll go with those 2, who've already been with the team. And don't discount Bowden. I mean, Bowden can play running back. He can play the slot. He can play wide receiver, and he can play quarterback.
Yeah, it was just his injuries during the game. He was coming in and off the field too. He finished the game for sure, but I was thinking he was going to be like another guy that was going to be going to the injury tent and to the locker room, that kind of thing. So.
Well, we're already game 11. Everybody's playing beat up.
Yep, that's right.
When you're halfway through the season, everybody's got nicks and cuts and bruises. So
for sure,
that's just the nature of football. So
the target distribution, we saw Chris Olave with 9. Juwan Johnson with 7, and the next closest is the tie between Kamara and Shaheed with 5. So that was like the top target getters for today. So to start the second half, we see Olave. He goes up for incomplete. Pass that was incomplete. Came down hard, and then he leaves the game. That was the last we saw of him. They ruled it a concussion. Now, this could be a situation where you have those spotters and somebody, saw him as, he needs to enter the protocol from what I saw. And he doesn't necessarily have to have a concussion, but we're going to play it safe and you're out, pal.
Yeah. Because like I said to you, I didn't see him really get his head banged in.
Right.
And he looked like he was holding his shoulder. So my thought was like, oh, man, he banged up his shoulder. Well, just the same thing you're saying here. That's why they called Juwan Johnson off the field, right? Because he was slow getting up, and they were like, "Oh no, you got to get off the field."
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
so I would agree with you. There's probably a spotter saying, "Hey, that guy's got to go into the tent and make sure." You know, so hopefully, let's hope that that's it. You know, and that Olave is just can get better during this week and be able to play next week.
Yep.
You know, that will definitely help our wide receiver situation. Shaheed, on the other hand, I don't know that he's going to play next week.
Yeah, whatever he was dealing with, he struggled a lot with it, and so yeah, he left in the first half.
I think it's a hamstring. That's what it looked like to me.
Okay,
The way he was limping.
Yeah.
So, you know, and for a guy who's all speed, that's not.
Yeah, that's like a death sentence. You might well put him on IR.
Yeah. I guess suddenly they figured out how to use IR. Is that what happened?
I don't know, man, because I really think they could have put Mike Thomas on IR when we went to the bye week, and then we could have got him back in 3 games instead of 4. But look,
And
I don't know.
Lattimore too.
Yeah,
And Lattimore
same
too.
thing with Lattimore. Yes.
You know, they waited as soon as they knew they were going to do that. They should have said, "All right, IR right now."
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
But I that whole IR thing with this team again, it's like I don't get who's thinking what. You know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's got to be a head coaching decision at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's got to be between the head coach and Mickey Loomis. So
Yeah.
yep.
So
we saw McCoy get injured on his drive early in the second half, and then in comes Matt Garcia, and we get another field goal, so it's 14-12 Falcons. You know, just another situation where we can't punch the ball into the end zone and settle for another field goal. So that's what we got here for the offense.
was that the series where they punched the ball out of? No, it's the next series where Taysom gets the ball punched out, right?
Right. Yeah. Next series. So we see Falcons get the ball back, and Honey Badger gets an interception, and it's good field position for the Saints now, man. So we did get McCoy coming back in at center, which is great. And before the third quarter ends, that's when we saw the Taysom fumble in the red zone after the Saints moved the ball pretty well there.
Now, I'm going to say to you that certainly we don't want fumbles, but watching the replays that they showed, I mean, you got to give the defensive guy props because he punched that ball out. Taysom had the ball up against him. It wasn't like he was holding it out like Carr, like a bag of bread, you know, I mean, a loaf of bread, bag of bread, a loaf of bread, you know. He had it up against him. That guy just came down at the right angle and punched that ball out. So, you know, I don't really necessarily blame Taysom as much as I do to give credit to the defender, you know, in that play. But certainly still it's, you know, stopped. So many times it looked like our offense was starting to gain some momentum, and inevitably, you know, a penalty, a bad throw,
turnover,
fumble, you know,
drop.
I mean, it's like, really? We can't get this thing going. Well, and like I say to you, the whole thing with Carr, right? He was about to get sacked. He moved a little bit to get out of the way sack, and then he dumps the ball to Williams, who's standing on the line of scrimmage with a guy on top of him. He could have easily run out of that pocket and given himself another second or two to have somebody else open. But instead, he just makes this terrible decision to throw to a guy who's covered on the line. You have no chance. You know, I mean, give it a shot, man. Take 2 more steps to the outside where they're not there and throw the ball somewhere else. But see, that's what I'm talking about, how he doesn't play with gusto, man. You know, he's not, you know.
Really conservative.
Man, even beyond conservative.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the game of football is about risks, right? You know, the saying, right? No biscuit if you don't risk it, right? So, you know, if you want to play, when I said to y'all, well, we can win if we kick 10 field goals. You know, I mean, if that's how you want to play the game, well, I'm okay, but I don't think so. You know, you've got to take the proper risk. And when you take some of those risks, even when they fail, you put something in the mind of the defender like, oh, man, they're willing to go for that. I got to play a little bit differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So, but if you don't throw the ball, then the defensive back gets more emboldened, right? the defensive back goes, well, I can cover this guy. If he's not going to throw that long, hey, I just stay with this guy right here inside 15. He's not going to be able to throw it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, just my perspective, you know, since I'm calling the plays.
We saw the Saints get burned by the blitz. Ritter, he threw a deep pass to Bijan Robinson out of the backfield. We had Demario Davis in coverage. So at this point, it is 21-12 Falcons.
Hey, Dale, you're freezing up on the frame.
Okay. Did you hear anything I said?
Yeah, I heard part of it.
Okay.
The pass and Demario Davis.
Right.
So
Ritter deep pass to Bijan Robinson, 21-12 Falcons now.
Right. And at that point, I was like, well, not looking too good. And I think it might have been you who said, well, that's it. It's all over or something like that. And I was like, no, I'm a loyal fan, not till the last whistle. Well, I give up.
That was a nail in the coffin for me right there. I was ready to call it.
I understand. But I was like, 2 more field goals. We get 2 more field goals, we're still in it. You know?
Yep.
Sad when you think in field goals, you know.
For real. It really is. It's terrible.
Well, you know, let me ask you this, Dale. You know, we were in the red zone. We couldn't score.
Yeah.
All these field goals.
Yeah.
So where's Jimmy Graham? Can I ask? Can anybody answer I have not noticed any of these quasi reporters, right? Duncan, Underhill, all these people. Does nobody have the avocados to ask the question, where the hell is Jimmy Graham?
Yep.
You know, I mean, look, sign a retirement paper. Great, you retire as a Saint. Move on, you know? But where is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
You know? We have a game plan for, Graham when he comes, we're going to sign him up and we have a game. Even before the whole freakish thing that went on, he wasn't being used. So,
yeah. It was one touchdown on the season, I think, so far for Graham. So, he's just been a healthy scratch pretty much the last few weeks here. So,
yeah. Okay, just to let you know, we both went off just now for a few seconds and came back on.
Okay, we'll be fine.
Okay.
Ramczyk call for holding. He did come back into the game after that injury, which is cool.
Holding?
Yeah.
That was holding?
He got called for it. Yep. And so that led to the Group B field goal, which made it 21-15 Falcons. And now this is where the Falcons go over 200 yards rushing in the fourth quarter. We also saw Cam Jordan leave the game in the fourth quarter, dealing with like a leg injury. So we'll see what happens with him. Falcons in the game with the field goal, and that made it 24-15.
Yeah.
Just terrible game, especially a loss against the Falcons. I feel terrible about it.
Well, I've said this since the first time I went and saw a Saints game at Tulane Stadium. As long as we beat the Falcons twice a year, I can live with whatever the record is.
Yep.
But and the way, like I say to you, this uninspired playing kills me. If you're gonna get your behind beat, then go out there and play hard. Play like these old guys. Atkins and all those people. Play tough like them. Knock somebody's teeth out. Get the penalty. Who cares? Yep. But when you go out there and you play it like, oh my, Ole, there he goes. I don't really want to hit him. Let me see if I can push him down.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, is the most hurtful part of all of this. I think that if fans like myself are going to get angry, I think that's what we get angry about. Is that the team plays uninspired. And like I said, to me, it's a reflection of Dennis Allen. So,
yeah. Can't argue with that. So next week, we've got Detroit coming to town after their Thanksgiving Day loss. Hopefully the offense can figure some stuff out. Hopefully we can get some healthy receivers. But yeah, it's not looking really good right now.
I think there'll be some players who'll be getting their kneecaps bitten off in this game, because I'm pretty sure that Detroit's loss will not go down easy with Coach Campbell.
Right.
And I think they'll come in red hot, ready to kick some behind. And the dispassionate Saints will just sit there and go, oh, well, I still get my paycheck. It's all good. And the poor Saints fans who have to pay big bucks to get into the dome, and pay however much it is, $15 for a crappy beer. I mean, all 20 years we had season tickets, and I was like, man, I don't know if as good as that was during the bag days and everything.
Yeah.
As much as we stayed there, my wife and I, and that we had great seats, for those years that we were there. It'd be tough to keep paying the kind of money you have to pay for season tickets these times.
Yeah, man.
Days.
Yeah, that's
To have that kind of a team, I still love them. I have my Saints shirt on right now.
that's all right. Okay.
I'm a Saints fan forever, no matter how bad. 0-17. Okay, I'm still here. But I do believe that as true Saints fans, we have the right to bitch when the team doesn't play to the standard that it should play.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it'll be tough. Detroit, they're a good team, man, and they're well coached. And need I remind you, just like Atlanta has one of our former coaches that coaches their defense, Detroit has one of our former coaches that coaches their defense.
That's right.
And a head coach who also coached for us.
Yeah.
So
former Saints there too. That's right.
So it's not like we're going to be playing against a bad coach.
Yep.
But yes, well, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what happens. I'll be listening to all the interviews about, we just have to play better. We just have to do a better job.
That's right.
I don't know how many times we can hear that,
Coach better, play better. That's right. Keep doing what you're doing, DA.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We have it. Thanks very much.
That's it. Okay. Well, that's going to wrap it up.
Might have a chance to, if it really keeps, going this way, I'm not thinking of the positive here. If we lose 2 or 3 more games, maybe we'll get to see the real quarterback of the future of the team, come in and play some ball. At least it'll be exciting, because I know he won't stand back there like a statue.
Maybe so.
So
maybe we'll see him.
Or maybe we could go to a system like the Cowboys used to have, the Cowgirls, a long time ago, right? We could have Hainer come in for a series, and then we have Jameis come in for a series, and then the Mormon Missile come in for a series, and that'll definitely mess up the other team's defense.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know, just saying, may as well make it entertaining if nothing else.
Yeah.
So,
hey, we got to do something differently. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I think I'm hopeful that Olave is just like you said. They just saw something, and hopefully he'll be back. And like I said, Callaway already knows all the book. We may not like him, but he blocks. So he'll be of some use. And I'd like to see this kid Kirkland come in. Because I think that he has some skills that could be useful. Now whether or not Carr throws to him, that's a whole other story.
Oh yeah.
But
it's true.
But our game today was not very good, Dale. It's just the way it is.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Come on, Saints. Let's do better next week.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, it's really hard doing these podcasts when we suck. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Notice that we haven't even talked about who was the offensive player or the defensive player of the game.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, exactly. So give me your offensive, defensive player of the game here.
The ball boy and
the ball boy.
The guy who was wiping the balls off, and who can I say? I mean, really, truthfully, who could you say? I will say this. All right, I'll give one out for the offense. I'm going to give my offensive game day reward to Andres Pete.
Okay. All
Was
right.
he called for holding today? No,
I don't think he was. Yeah.
he was not.
Mhm.
Was he out in front of the running back blocking? Yes, he was.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give Pete the offensive game, Paul. There you go. I'll give it to him.
All right. All right.
Yeah. On defense,
Uh-huh.
that's a really hard one. Well, I'll give it to Honey Badger.
Yeah.
He had 2 interceptions, so I give it to him.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And special teams, our center, Wood.
Wood. Okay.
Well, you kicking 5 field goals, man. He was on all 5 were right to the spot. So on special teams, I give it to the snapper. There you go.
I like it.
They're my players of the game.
I
How
like
about
it.
for you?
Definitely offense. I'm going with Olave. The only wide receiver we had really today. And on defense, of course, Honey Badger. Go Tigers. Like we need more Tigers.
Well, I said to somebody else, okay, so here's what we need to do. In the draft, we just look for players from LSU, U of L, Tulane, and then anybody from the SEC.
I'm
That's
with it. I'm with that.
No more Big 10, Big 12, Pac-10, whatever.
I would
ACC,
hire you right now, Tomas.
Yeah, with all those people. Just tell all of our scouts out there, look, forget about all those other teams.
Thank you.
Just scout LSU, Tulane, University of Louisiana, or even Kentucky because of SEC, right? These are all my alma maters. So, okay, I'm good.
SEC and Louisiana. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. And, I'm good. I think we'll have players that can play. I don't want to see anybody from Oregon. Okay?
Right.
I don't want to see anybody from UT El Paso.
Thank you.
Okay? I don't want to see anybody from Sisters for the Blind and Poor, from Idaho.
Thank you.
Okay? I don't want to see any of these players. Let some other team have them. I'm good.
Yes. Yes.
But at this point, the only college conference that actually plays men's football is the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
So, with the only exception being Tulane and U of L. Okay?
That's right.
Other than that, I'm sorry. That's all it. We just can't afford anymore to have these developmental guys who never develop.
Exactly. No more
You know
of
what I'm
that.
saying?
I'm so tired of
And
that.
I've said this before. In today's financial structure of the NFL, you've got to hit on your draft because those guys are locked into long-term enough contracts at a decent price that the team doesn't go into, a bad situation with the money.
Yeah, you can't win the Super Bowl. At least I don't believe you can without drafting well at positions because the money.
Yeah.
The money's got to even out. And if you got to play some star players, you got to have some cheap players, and the cheap players better be good. So
exactly. You have to depend on winning with guys in their 3rd and 4th year of their contracts.
Mm-hmm.
They develop by that point, they can really play because you're going to be paying for the quarterback. There's no way around it.
That's right.
You're going to pay for a quarterback. Like we talk about Daniels from LSU. The Saints aren't going to get him. Sorry. Because he'll be gone.
Yeah.
And the Saints are not going to package, 2 number 1s, 2 number 2. It's not going to happen because that's going to be a steep price for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. And besides the fact we have a long-term contract with Carr, well, then you've got to draft really wisely for the rest of the positions because by year 2 or 3 of their drafting, they have to be solid players.
Yep.
And the Saints haven't done that. That's one of the problems the Saints have had. They just haven't done that. So, I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't mean to be mean, but we can't have any more Davenports. We can't have any more. What's the other guy's name? Turner. We can't have any more of these people anymore.
For real.
These are all players that aren't going to play.
Yeah.
So, and we can't have people made of glass. We sign way too many injured players with the hope that we can resuscitate them.
Mm-hmm.
And we can at times. I mean, it's not. There are some times that they can, but most of the time they're injured. I love Michael Thomas. I'll stand behind him forever and a day. But Mike Thomas, it's a shame with a man with that kind of heart. See, that's what I'm talking about being inspired.
Right.
You see,
Yeah.
he's a guy who goes out there and gives his 100% every time, and he pushes the other people. I love him for that.
Mhm.
But man, you can't contribute if you're on IR or you're banged up on the sidelines and can't play. You know, so
That's true.
it's a shame. But that's the kind of player I would like to see them get.
Yeah, need more guys with that kind of passion. If we had more of those guys, we'd probably be in a better position. So I'm with you.
And they have a lot of those kids at Georgia, Alabama, LSU. I'm just saying, Florida's down, but they still have good players.
Mhm.
And Kentucky has good players, even though the word is we're going to lose the coach. But
Yeah.
But if we go into a good situation, if he goes to Texas A&M, we can go into a good situation.
Hey, definitely got players.
Exactly.
Definitely got
And
players.
this guy, he's good. Stoops is not a bad coach. He's a good coach.
No. Oh, yeah. For real.
And to think,
Good
Kentucky's a basketball school,
Mhm.
but
He brought him back.
He's really turned it into more of a football school.
That's
Even though
right.
this year they had opportunities and they just stunk up the place. They
Mhm.
played great yesterday in beating Louisville, number 10 ranked team.
Mhm.
But that was like so many games, right? There were rivalry games, right? You saw some really good playing. That's what I liked about watching yesterday's games, right?
Yeah. Last week of college football is always pretty good because of rivalry week. So, yeah.
All right, so I guess I'm done for today.
Yep.
You can wrap it up, Mr. Dale.
Okay. Well, this is going to wrap it up for us here on the Beer Chaser. We appreciate everybody for joining us and the comments and chiming in. We'll be back after the next game. Hopefully, we'll be back after a victory and we can talk about how good we are. How about that?
I hope so. But in the meantime, Dale, don't forget, absolutely, FTF. Okay, I'm good.
That's right. FTF. See y'all later.
Remember to follow us on social media at BSnBEER Media. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and share with friends.